So in today's video, I want to talk about essentially the access that your website has, right? In terms of how easily people can access it and why it's important for you to continue to make sure that you're updating security measures so that way your website continues to run fast. There is a hidden cost to seconds. With every moment that your website has downtime, that's hitting your bottom line in terms of how many people are going to your website and purchasing from you. There is a there's a common theme in web development in general, but this happens with coding, this happens with software, where the perception is, it's just a technical bug, it's a small bug. We're going to deploy everything and we'll get around to fixing it when we can. Um the dangers of this is that the reality is a glitch is never just going to go away. If your navigation menu, as an example, doesn't work or it has a glitch on it, if you have a glitch in getting an email from someone, or if your processor doesn't work when you start to submit a payment, like all of these things work together. And if I can describe it in a phrase, it's death by a thousand cuts. So why is this important? Why is he talking about it? Um, Whenever there is a just a small glitch in your website, you always want to make sure you take precautions. Contact your customer service, contact whoever you have, whether it's Wix or GoDaddy or Shopify, and notify them of whatever glitch is occurring so that way they can quickly resolve it. And the emphasis on this has to be quick because again, if one glitch is just malfunctioning on the site, that means that opens up a potential door for a variety of other things. Um, and I say this because as I talk to clients, as I talk to customers, this is a common thing that I've heard from them in the past where before they were working with me, they had one of the larger companies that they were working with. And as a result of working with them, they would come across glitches that just didn't make any sense. So clients would send an email to the person, to my clients, and they wouldn't be able to get any emails. And that's not a small glitch, but that's an example of one. On the navigation menus, depending on what was happening, there were instances where if there's a drop down menu on the navigation, the drop down didn't actually work. And so, all of these are minor glitches that ultimately, from a coding perspective, opens the door for more things to happen later on down the road. I'll give an example of this. And so, I don't know if you know this or not, but 53% of mobile users will abandon your site if it takes longer than 3 seconds to load. Like it's not an exaggeration to see it's not an exaggeration how short our attention spans are in today's, technological world. And so speed is an example of this. If the website does not load within 3 seconds as a result of too many images or videos, one may call that a glitch, but in reality that is affecting your bottom line very, very much. Um because on average, again, the fact that it takes about 3 seconds if your website takes longer than 3 seconds, on average, people abandon the site and they don't check it out. That's a problem and affects your bottom line. That's what some would consider a glitch, but they are real world failures that have real impacts on your system and your business, right? And so real world failure points often look like this. And if you are encountering these issues on your platform, and you want to see if you can get them resolved, feel free to contact me. My link is in the description below, so you can get in contact with me. But if you're having issues with broken forms, bad bookings, failed checkouts, that means that there's something definitely wrong in the website. Respectfully, WordPress is notorious for this. WordPress has what's called plugins. They're basically little miniature apps that are inserted into the website. They often have a propensity to break, and which results in your site not working for random ways. And these are known glitches that WordPress and their developers have known about for quite a long time. A lot of it comes down to the onus of the performance of the site being attributed to the plugins. In other words, WordPress will often say that, hey, if this particular feature is not working on your site, it is likely a plugin, and a plugin that you have not updated, or a plugin that you need to remove from your site. If you've ever worked with a WordPress site, this process of even just removing or installing a substitute plugin takes time. It's not just something you can click a button and do. You have to make sure that whatever plugin you're installing that's new is going to achieve the same, if not better, results than what you had before. If the plugin you're working with is outdated, but it's reliant on certain content that needs to stay outdated, that's a problem. And so you may not even realize it, but a lot of the sites that you're using on a regular basis may have little glitches here and there that ultimately affect the overall performance of a site. I remember for a client going back and creating a Wix site for him, and because he did not have the premium or highest tier plan, his website was notorious for loading at on unacceptable speeds. And so when we actually reached out to customer support for it to let them know that these issues are occurring, the answer was essentially, these are just bugs, these are just glitches, these are expected, they will fall away in time. And unfortunately, they never did. And we had to create a whole new site just to make sure that my client's business continued to run. But these are the small glitches here or there that people will say are okay, but these are real world failure points that you do not want to deal with when you are running your business. So, um, when it comes to your clients, your customers, the ones that are visiting the site, if you miss an opportunity to actually, contact them or for them to do a checkout for your website, you don't get that back. They most certainly, will not wait for you and your business when there are certainly others out there. And so if you think about my business, for example, at CP Digital Studio, we build websites for companies. If I go to my website, people go to my website and the website itself does not work. There's a link here that doesn't work, or the drop down menu is failing, or it's hard to find things. People don't come back. They don't have any. There are so many other web development companies out there, and so many other companies that claim they can do a good job that people just don't have time. We live in a very very busy and competitive market, and so you have to understand that every little glitch that you have on your website, you can never just take that for what it's worth. You have to make sure that you address that as quickly as possible to ensure that your website performs as it should, right? And so again, access is one of the most important goals that you can have for your website. Meaning, how easy is it for people to actually access your site? When business owners say they want good customer service, what they actually want is access. They want people to be able to contact them if anything goes wrong on the site or if anything goes wrong with their product. You want to be able to have that control over whether or not you can fix a product or fix a customer review, whatever it may be. You as the business owner want to make sure that you have that access. It's the same thing when it comes to web development. You want to always make sure that your customers have all the tools that they need on your website, all the information that they need, and that everything works and functions as it should. And so if this sounds obvious to you, it's only because you haven't dealt with a significant issue in your business where you know these things happen. The point being is that there are glitches that happen in every single website. The speed with which you resolve them determines how effective your business will be overall. And for us at cpdigitalstudio.com, what we do is if there is an issue or a glitch, we resolve that within 2 hours maximum. It never takes us longer than that. We don't have to put you in a queue for someone to get in contact with you. You just call us, email us, let us know what's going on. Our phone's always on us, and we make sure that we resolve your issue in real time. So that way you don't have to keep worrying about things not working on your website because that's unprofessional. If any of this sounded good to you and you want to get in contact with me, link is in the description. Email me, go to my website, cpdigitalstudio.com, see what we're about. We built websites for hundreds of businesses at this point, including in various different industries, the medical field, construction, e-commerce, whatever you may think, we've done it before. So if you need help with your current website and you don't know where to go, what to do, or you're experiencing a very specific problem, maybe your backend's not working, maybe your WordPress site is all over the place, contact us. Let's get together, talk about what you need, and we'll figure out the best solution for your business. All right? Bye-bye for now.